Hillary Bohr, Bernard Keeter, and Mason Furlick. What'd you think of that final today?
I mean, it was kind of a little bit no. It's kind of similar to that women's race, right? Where you kind of had the obvious top two eventually late in the race with Keeter and Bohr, similar to Coburn and Frericks, and then it was a battle for third, and Furlick, Michalski, Updike, Cabral was somewhat in there a bit.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of battling for that third spot, and you could just tell, man, the steeple. It's all about that final 130 some meters, 150 meters from the water pit to the finish line. That's where all of the teams are either made or lost. One people qualifying or not qualifying. It's all in that final 150. You saw that with Furlick. He was neck and neck with two other guys, and as soon as he hit that final water jump, he was free. And Hillary Bohr making the team once again, back to back Olympic qualification. I was going to say champion, back to back Olympic teams. Pretty cool for Bohr. And his teammate Bernard Ketter, who has had a great build up to this moment, kind of was a solid guy in college at Texas Tech. Wasn't really doing much, and then slowly he got fourth in 2019, and now here getting second at the Olympic trials. A good way for Keter to kind of capsule his journey to gold, as Tracktown USA says. Hashtag journey to gold.
And Furlick gets that final spot, fifth in 2019 as well, ninth in 2017, and then fifth at the 16 trial. So he's been close a couple times. And I thought going into the race, because of Furlick's 1,500 meter speed, he just needed to be close in that last 100. And that's exactly what happened. He was right there, but there was the guys on his back, but they were not able to mount a charge. Once Furlick went, he closed that gap. I think Keeter was really comfortable. He was celebrating pretty early. I think he had latched on to Bohr and was pretty confident. I have two, though, takeaways from this race as it pertains to Evan Jager, who's not actually in the race. But it's just interesting because you see these guys fourth and fifth the last time this race was run for a berth on a U.S. team. And right there you see the impact. Obviously, Jager wasn't there in 19, but you see an impact of some of these injuries and or retirements as well too, like we saw with Andy Bear. Like some spots opened up and they were able to take advantage of. The other Jager takeaway is I think we assume everybody who had his 5K pedigree is going to become Evan Jager. And I'm referring, of course, to Sean McGorty. It's like it was an easy comparison to make. A guy makes a late transition to the steeplechase from running flat events, and you think, okay, just plug and play. He's going to be awesome. Had a great debut, just like Jager did back in 2012, but he stayed about the same, we could say, as he did from his debut, which just shows it's hard. Like Jager was an outlier. You can't expect everybody to make that transition into the steeple. It's its own animal. It's an entirely different challenge. And yeah, having that flat speed helps, but running sub 8:15, running 8:10, or as in Jager's case, almost breaking 8 flat, that takes a rare talent. Yeah, you got to be good at the 5K, but you also have to have these obviously skills that play well out in the 5K or in the 3K steeple. Because I think going in, you and I both thought McGorty. We said it after his first race, said it after his second race. The prelim was a weird situation, so you kind of put that aside, and he closed so well there. We thought he'd be fine, but he finishes 7th in this race.
Yeah. Do you think this is his future for McGorty? Do you think he's going to be going all in on the steeple in 2022? Or you think he'll have like a Josh Thompson type revelation and be like, hey, abandon the steeple, let's go back into the 15 and try to make teams that way? And for McGorty, I guess, like, hey, it's become a 5-10 guy. I mean,
Yeah,
do you
it's
think
funny
you abandon ship now, or do you keep going?
I think you give it a few more. You give it a few more because just because he didn't take to it right away doesn't mean he's never going to take to it. And he's got opportunities next year early in this, or even the rest of this season. Right now he's not on the team, but you think he'd be fast enough to get into some higher profile steeples. Maybe he can give it a shot. But yeah, you bring up Thompson. It's funny. Okay, this analog to Jager doesn't work. So let's throw another Bowerman person on him. Maybe he's not Evan Jager. Maybe he's Josh Thompson, the guy who was miscast in his role as steepler and then came back to be one of the best 1,500 meter runners in the country. You're right. Maybe that's true. Maybe he's going to go back to the 5 and find some more success there. Low 13s guy. I mean, do we think the U.S. men's 5,000 right now is incredibly deep? Probably not. And he's training with a lot of the best guys in the event, so he'll have a good gauge on what he can do moving forward. But it was just interesting to look at his arc, because his arc in the steeple just started a couple months ago. But the three guys going to Tokyo: Bohr, Keter, and Mason Furlick in that men's steeple, which was the only running event final of the evening. We got a good. This is a good gif here, because his Twitter handle is Hey Big Bird, and there is coming off the last water pit. Yeah, you're right though. Like the guys who get momentum and the women who get momentum off that last water barrier versus the people who are stalling out, it looks like one person's running downhill and one person's running uphill, basically. That's a terrifying gif. Now that I've watched it 6 times in a row, that's nightmare fuel right there.
Yeah, imagine that happened in real life. Imagine being a kid and seeing that, like, oh, not be going to watching PBS anymore since then. Anyway, big ups to those three: Bohr, Keter, and Furlick. But we